Hello, I'm Laurie McMenemy. Welcome to The Ugly Inside. Subscribe below.
Spring has finally sprung, and Clive and I finally, for the first time in 2 months, look forward to a home game at St Mary's. But before we get into our big match preview, we have a special announcement to make. And you might see in the corner of our screen right now that you see a little Ladbrokes logo, because our special announcement is that we are being backed by Ladbrokes. They're going to help us create more great content until the end of the season. But it's not just us, it's fan channels on the Ball Street Network that are also being backed, the likes of Arsenal Fan TV, West Ham Fan TV, Redmen TV, all the great ones. So make sure you do head over to Ball Street. Big thanks to Ladbrokes, big thanks to Ball Street for helping it all happen. But we're here to talk about Bournemouth. Clive, 2 months without a home game.
Yeah, I'm delighted to be talking about football because other people seem to be wanting to sell all of our players at the moment, and I don't think that's a healthy situation. I just want to talk about football, really, because we've got some serious games coming up. We've got a hell of a big week. 3 teams, all different types of opposition, and all very challenging. So, great to be back.
And that's right, we've gone from, having a feast of football before Christmas, just after Christmas, having the League Cup and the Europa League to deal with, to famine last month, or this month, in the month of March. But, Bournemouth, we look forward to a game on Saturday. They have never won at Southampton.
In the Premier League.
Ever.
Right, I thought they beat us in the League Cup once, but never mind. I think that might have been a draw, but they might have won on aggregate. Doesn't matter. It's a big game. I know we say, we don't care about you, but deep down I bloody do, and I resent them shouting scummer at any ex-Saints player, or even if their granddad would play. It's Pompey that do that. Pompey made that up, sadly, they might be, but they're entitled to do that. Fair enough, they are our main rivals. Bournemouth, I'm sorry, come up with something original, lads, because that's just crap.
And this is the thing, for me, the way I see it, the Bournemouth versus Southampton so-called rivalry has been manipulated and manufactured by the media. We don't see it as a rivalry. I'm sure a lot of people out there also remember the times that we dipped into our pocket to help that football club out, and I'm sure a lot of people that live down in Bournemouth also helped our football club out. So historically, Saints-Bournemouth hasn't been a rivalry. When does it start becoming a rivalry? We've seen these competitive fixtures with Brighton when we're coming up the leagues in League One and the Championship.
Yeah, I think it's just the size of Bournemouth. You look at them, and historically, in my lifetime, their average support has been about 3,000 or 4,000. So you couldn't really take them too seriously. It's only recently, and all these Johnny-come-lately supporters have suddenly come along. Where were they years ago, to be honest? Because the big rivalry, as we know, is Pompey. And then it probably goes down the pecking order to Brighton. There's big fat seagull over there sat on a post. I think he's spying on us, but Brighton and Saints, oh my God, in the 70s it was really, really a massive derby. It was a massive derby, and we used to take a huge amount of fans down there, and it was a bit naughty, to be fair, but that was the old days. And but Brighton Saints was and maybe we'll have that next season. Maybe we will have that. It's looking good for them. But Bournemouth has always seen, I think, until Bournemouth can really get a serious stadium down there and get 20,000 plus supporters. Yes, they'll fill their allocation, no doubt, on Saturday. Until they get that bigger framework to their club, I think it hasn't got the same sort of intensity. I think intensity is the word. It does matter, though. It matters to the players. It matters to the fans. We ain't losing them 3 points. We're going to win.
And it was a really competitive game back at Dean Court, not the Vitality, in December. It was a really great game. Rodriguez got 2 goals on that day. Going into Saturday's game, we're very even in terms of the league itself. We're 10th and 11th respectively. I think we're on the same amount of points, but we've got 2 games in hand, and they could leapfrog us with a win on Saturday. Yeah,
we don't want that happening. Obviously, Saints have performed pretty well since they've changed their system around, and we'd like to have a strong finish to the season. Starting with the Bournemouth game at home, it's very important we get the 3 points on the board and we get ahead of them with the 2 games in hand. That would go into the final weeks of the season on an upward curve rather than looking over your shoulder.
And for me, consistency is key. We've now got an established starting 11. I think before Christmas, before the League Cup finals, Paul was tinkering with his team left, right and centre every single week, but now he knows his strongest team. But having said that, our best striker's out for at least another 2 weeks, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Gabby's got his groin injury, and it's a big shame because he was looking so good. His movement gives us so much more. And what I thought about Gabbiadini was that other players were coming to the fore. You know, because of his movement, other players were sparking off that. Tadic and Redmond in particular. Their game had really upped in the last few weeks. And I see no reason why they shouldn't maintain that. Shane is an able replacement. And J-Rod, I saw some what I thought unjust criticism when he came on at Tottenham. He didn't do anything wrong because he didn't get no service. So I don't know what people are at really, saying he's finished and all this business. J-Rod will work his socks off. And he's a decent goal threat, as he proved in the away game at Bournemouth.
That's right. He needs to take his opportunities as well. He looks like, you know, he wants that ball, and he has the hunger to score goals from range and takes opportunities. But looking elsewhere in the squad, Mayo Yoshida could be rested for this game, having travelled over 14,000 miles and scored in the Japanese game just yesterday even. So Caceres could start for the first time against Bournemouth.
He could do. That's up to the boss, obviously, but it is a long distance. It's a long flight, and it does take it out of you, no matter how much in first class and whatever he is. Congratulations to him. You know, he's captain of Japan, scored a decent goal by all accounts. I haven't seen the goals, but you know, he's done well. So he's coming back on a high, personally. It's a tough one to call that, but Caceres, obviously, did I say that right?
Caceres, yeah.
Oh, wow. My Spanish is improving.
OK then, Clive, then let's wrap things up then with a score prediction. Bournemouth at home. First home game in 2 months. Give us a prediction, mate.
I'm hoping for a 3-1 victory. I do think Bournemouth will score. I think they play decent football, but I think Saints have got good movement in the midfield, and I'm hoping on J-Rod coming back, and Shane. Obviously, Shane will run for a brick wall for us. I'm hoping for 3-1 and a goal from midfield. A goal from midfield.
Perhaps Ward-Prowse can pop up once again. 3-1 is Nick's favourite score now. Have you been reading his articles?
No, I've been reading his articles because all he wants to do is sell the players at the moment. I don't know what Nick's playing at, to be honest. I don't know. He's just trying to stir people up, I think, into action. But maybe the fans as well need to be up for it. When you haven't played at home for a long time, it's strange because you haven't. You know, it's people you stand next to or sit next to, whatever, in the game. You have a bit of rapport with, and you haven't seen them for weeks, so it takes a little while to get, a bit like at the start of the season when it takes a few games to get back into it. But we need to be up for this because, you know, the Bournemouth fans will be, and we need to get our local pride and win this game.
So that wraps things up then for our big match preview, looking ahead to Saturday's game at home at St Mary's against Bournemouth. As always, leave us a like if you've enjoyed the video, let us know your predictions in the comments below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.